All right, then. Well, we'll equally just cross over to Mr. Ononuju in a moment. He is on standby to give his perspectives. Mr. Ononuju, having heard some of these submissions, how do you place them?
Thank you very much. Good morning. First, I will tell you this is the first time in my life that we've had an independence, and I'm not happy. I see several of our countrymen protesting, agitating for separatism. It's never been this bad before. You can see that the gentleman was trying to do the same thing the government had always done before, try to use rhetorics, bandit rhetoric to deceive people. Nigerians exhibited their sadness yesterday based on what they have seen. Now, you have seen the robust application of ethnic cleansing across all federal parastatals. You saw the announcement from the customs, which sought to clean certain ethnicities. You saw the announcement from the president in regards to filling the the Supreme Court. You saw how the Southeast were cleansed out of it. This program of ethnic cleansing has been ongoing. Nigerians are being cleansed from government institutions, from parastatals in government, and also physically. People who are cleansed of ancestral lands are being kept in IDP camps.
All right, Mr. Ononuju.
Just move.
We'll come back to you when we return in just a moment. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Well, Mr. Ononuju, in the president's speech yesterday, there was a clause wherein he said that they plan to increase our commitments to peaceful coexistence in a peaceful, secure, and united Nigeria. Do you think this for you demonstrates an initiative or intention to proceed on a different slate moving forward?
No, you had more of the same thing. As you rightly pointed out to the gentleman, these are words. What I want you to see is that he has not stopped his robust use of ethnic cleansing. You saw the suggestions to the Supreme Court appointments. The Southeast have been constantly ethnically cleansed of all federal parastatals and institutions, of the customs, now of the Supreme Court. We look at now in Borno State. Let him start to return the ethnically cleansed IDPs back to their villages. Follow Governor Zulu. Do the same thing in Plateau State. Do the same thing in also what was in Katsina, in Zamfara, in Sokoto, and also in Kaduna State. When you cleanse people ethnically of ancestral lands, cleanse people ethnically of federal institutions, then we know you have an agenda of only trying to put one single ethnicity in there. Let those refugees in those ethnically cleansed villages leave. Let the indigenous people be returned to their communities. That will now show us that this man is serious. It is federal. When he talks about federal control of things like the police force in localities, it simply wants to use federal control of those security agencies to achieve his aim. Why has there been a stay of hands by federal security agencies in all these places where the physical ethnic cleansings occur? This tells you there are instructions from above. So never mind his rhetorics. Look at his actions. I told you before, if you want to predict what a politician will do not listen to his rhetorics, judge from his past. So it is due to the way President Buhari has been applying this steady, robust ethnic cleansing of other Nigerians, of national institutions, federal parastatals, and also of ancestral lands across several sections of the country. That's why the people yesterday say, we are no more interested in Buhari's definition of Nigeria. People are no more interested in Buhari's Nigeria. And I can give you one real assurance. If Buhari does not stop, because people fear he has now accelerated that strategy of ethnic cleansing. Could you imagine this? You cleanse the Igbos of the police. Tomorrow, all the policemen that will come to the Southeast
to you, there's part of the president's speech indicated, he says, Nigeria is not a country for Mr. President. Any ruling or opposition party, no, I'll go again. Nigeria is not a country for Mr. President, any ruling or opposition party, but a country for all of us, and we must play our part irrespective of challenges we face to make this country what we desire. To achieve this, we must focus our minds together as a people on ways of resolving the identified critical challenges that underline our present state. Now, he listed the number of those items, one of which he says include evolving a sustainable democratic culture that leaves power in the hands of the people. How would you suggest we go about this?
These are rhetorics. This is classical Buhari way. Rhetorics, but then the actions are different. Remember, he earlier told us, I'm for nobody, I'm for everybody. Then why do you, in your appointments, set to cleanse certain ethnicities of federal parastatals? This is what is causing this problem. When people are cleansed of the Nigerian project, as represented by the representative appointments, people now feel that they're no more part and parcel of what Buhari is doing. That's why they're saying if they are being cleansed off the Nigerian project, then they want to now go their own separate ways. So that's why I said Buhari has provided the fuel, the ammunition for all these separatist agitations. No one else. He does it through his actions. Forget the rhetoric. Don't be deceived by his rhetorics. Rhetorics don't mean nothing. Because we have looked at him, all he said from the beginning, I am for everybody, I'm for nobody. Yet, you see what he's doing. I am happy that he has now taken seriously the crisis in Mali and tried to achieve peace, which is what he should have done before, so not allowing the influx to put pressure on him.
Well, we know what historians say and their perspective about, how you can see what the man can do moving forward. But having said this, on the part of the president now, what would you want to see and how soon in order for you to say again that, well, you said you were going to do this, you didn't do this. So what yardsticks, what are those parameters that you want to see put in place if we can then question that this speech is not what he says it will do?
Then he should start by withdrawing the papers from the customs, withdrawing the papers about the Supreme Court, and then trying to be inclusive in his posting of names that will go to the Supreme Court. Let every part of the country have a sense of belonging. Simple. Withdraw the papers from also the customs and make it in a way that the promotions reflect an inclusive Nigeria. Withdraw all that he has done before, where people have felt that they have been cleansed out of those positions, out of those parastatals, and make a composition that seems to be inclusive all parts of Nigeria. When he starts this, Nigerians will say, it's like this man really wants to do what he says. This is the beginning. It's not to give me rhetorics and you continue to do it. And then join Governor Zulum. I repeat now, join Governor Zulum to return indigenous people to their ancestral lands in Plateau. Not that they should be inside the IDP camps, whereas refugees from Mali and Central African Republic will be staying in their villages. No. Do the same thing in also Kaduna State. This is the reason why our country is about to be lost to us. Now, is engineering the breakup of Nigeria.
The economy is a huge part. And we also did ask Laolu Akonde about the economy and what they're doing. He did speak about the economic sustainability plan and several provisions in that particular plan. Well, being an economist yourself, now looking at that plan, how they intend to support MSMEs, families, and those, if they achieve those plans, wouldn't they have begun making certain plans that people will indeed feel the impact and appreciate those?
They have done it before. They have said this kind of things before, and we saw that the monies ended up in private hands. Remember when I complained about the activities of Hush Mommy, and now we are finding monies that were used to buy houses. If you say you're giving money to the economy, you bring money, release it as a way to provide a stimulus to the economy. If you provide the stimulus to the economy, the small enterprises are the people you should give, not giving money to politicians who will now loot it. What they have said right now, my brother, is a template for them to loot further. They have done this thing before, that they gave money to private hands, and we ask, what criteria did you use to give this money to private hands? They say, they were using telephone numbers that have been docile and dormant. I say, good. I have telephone numbers that I have not used. My children have telephone numbers that they've not used for a long time. I have not recharged, but we use them to receive calls. Why don't we get money from that? I go to my village and I ask people, did anybody get money from this government story? They say, we didn't see anything. So this is where you have to follow. Ask yourself, Timberland, in your village, ask if anybody got money from the Buhari's administration. That is how to follow. Don't just listen to their rhetorics. Ask each of you who are anchors there, ask people in your communities, did you get the money? When they didn't get money, ask yourself, are they not Nigerians? So these things are just rhetorics. This is why a lot of Nigerians said Buhari is not running a government that is inclusive of the aspirations of the broad spectrum of the Nigerian nation. And so, since they, instead of being included in the scheme of things, they see physically that they have been cleansed. They don't want to be part of Buhari's Nigeria anymore.
Just one more thing about the Electoral Act. So many questions and concerns about that particular act and what should be done about it. Do you have any timeline of what you want to see if we need to strengthen our electoral process such that people can indeed go out there and know that, yes, indeed, they can vote and it will count?
The only thing to be done to strengthen the electoral system start with President Buhari's signature, put on the legislature mandated and finished electoral act. Let him sign that electoral act. The legislatures being politicians, they know the ills of the electoral system because they are direct participants in the elections. They have made suggestions. Let Buhari append his signature on that. That is already before his death. If he appends his signature, then we will start looking for the new things. The man is not sincere. This is the problem. He's fundamentally not sincere. My party have said this. We supported as a political party that amended electoral act. Please, Mr. President, append your signature. He refused. And you can see what we saw in Kogi, where people were doing election through which is gone. This is the problem. We're talking about elections in Ondo. He's now giving money to the governor so that they can use that money to buy election. This is against the electoral act. How can you be saying you want to strengthen the electoral system and then you are sending money for people now to procure votes at the electorate? Because if they have run the economy properly, you will know that you don't need to start doing things like that. If Buhari wants to strengthen the economy, let him refer to the economic advisory team that he has created. Let those people make suggestions because they have people who mean well for the economy. Let their suggestions be listened to.
I guess we'll look out for some of those perspectives or those points in the days ahead. But we do thank you for talking to us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We're back in a moment. Don't go away.